It's time for the final scaling method, which is probably also the most fun because with this scaling method we can scale the fastest, and I'm talking about using target CPAs or manual bidding, and this is similar to the cost cap or bid cap campaigns on Facebook, where the algorithm is going to look for people that are going to purchase your product within the CPA that you set for that campaign. Now, because the algorithm is not as advanced as Facebook's algorithm and Pinterest has less data, it can occur that you set a target CPA, but Pinterest is going to spend your budget, but it's not going to reach the target CPA. Now, I must say the last months the algorithm has become better and better, and we don't see it as much as before. So that's why we like using target CPA campaigns again more. But I do suggest to start with a lower budget than you would on Facebook. So we always start with a budget of $100, and then we can check it throughout the day if it's not spending our budget but not getting any sales. But of course, because there's a delay when you can see your conversions, it's kind of hard to track. So we always start with a $100 budget, and then we can see the next day if it's actually spending money and getting sales for the right CPA. And if not, we can always turn it off. If they do get the target CPA, we can scale, which I'm going to show you in the next slide. But it's also important to know, of course, what we're going to put the target CPA on. And what I always like to do is start with a CPA that is 70 to 80% of your profit margin. Pinterest themselves even suggest to go a little bit lower, but we've seen the best results this way, and you can always decrease your CPA. And finally, the conversion window settings should be on 30, 30, 30, because that way it's better for retargeting, to grow the audiences and to reach more people. And now, creating target CPA campaigns on itself is already scaling, of course, but when everything is going well and you get the CPA that you want, or maybe even below, then we can optimize and scale those campaigns as well. Now, you can increase the budget of those campaigns the same way as with the vertical scaling method, but of course that's not very fast. I do suggest to do this, but there's a faster way by simply duplicating the ad group to a higher budget. And if, for example, you set a CPA of $20, but you are getting sales and it's spending all the budget and you're getting sales for $15, then if you duplicate the ad group to a higher budget, I often go from $100 to $250, and from $250 to $500, $500 to $1,000. But if you duplicate to a higher budget, then you can put the CPA on 15, for example. Now, you can also optimize ad groups that are already running with a CPA. And for this, it's the same as with increasing the budget. You can do this maximum of 2 times a week by only a 9% increase or decrease, of course, if you want to optimize of the CPA. So you can change the CPA. So let's say you put a CPA of $20 and you want to optimize this because you are getting sales for a lower CPA, then you can decrease the CPA of 20 to 19, for example. Now I'm going to show you what this looks like in your ad account. So here we are in the conversion campaign again, and let's say this one's performing really well. Then what we do is duplicate this, and I usually only create target CPA campaigns or ad groups if the CPA of the ad group that we want to duplicate is below 60% of our profit margin. Then we can duplicate it, and what we want to do is so here we have a profit margin of $30. So what I would do in this case is create a CPA campaign with the CPA on $25, and all you have to do is put this budget to $100, choose custom at the optimization and delivery. Here put the target CPA of $25, and we can leave the conversion window on 30, 30, 30. And this is all we have to do. Now we can create the ad group, and you duplicate this to a CPA. And if after a couple days, the results are good and the CPA is maybe 25 or even lower, then we are going to duplicate this again. And if the CPA, the results of the CPA are below 25, maybe around $20 for example, then I would change this to $20 and increase the budget to $250, and of course change the name of the ad group as well. And then I put the budget here so that I know that this is a ad group that has been scaled. Then we can create it. Now, if after a while this CPA ad group has been running and you see that the CPA, the cost per purchase is below your target CPA, then we want to decrease that CPA. And like I said, you can only do this 2 times a week with a decrease of 9% max. And what we would do here, of course, you need to calculate how much you can decrease it and calculate how much that 9% is. And what we want to do is click edit here, simply go to the place where you set the target CPA. So let's say, I'm not going to calculate this now, but let's say 9% is $2 for example, then we would change this to 23 and then you can see how we did. So let's say you change this on Monday to $23, then you can check again on Thursday, and if it's still lower than your target CPA, you can go to $21 for example. But always make sure you don't go over that 9%. And that's basically the way to scale with CPA campaigns or CPA ad groups, and this is the fastest way to scale. And what you should know is that it doesn't always spend the budget. So if Pinterest, if their algorithm doesn't think that they can get purchases for that target CPA, so they can't create purchases below $25, it's not going to spend money. It might spend money in the first hours or maybe the first day, but after a while, if the results are not within or not below your target CPA, it's not going to spend money. So don't think that if you created an ad group like this and it's not spending money that there's something wrong. It simply means that the algorithm doesn't think that they can get sales for your target CPA. And for example, if we would put the target CPA on $1, it's not going to spend any money.